There's a number of things, but and I hope my customers are watching this because one of the most exciting things for me personally is the number of dedicated, optimistic, hardworking professionals that I get to work with. I mean, these are individuals and companies that are truly trying to make a difference in their countries and their economies, and obviously do well for themselves as well, right? But that's just the highlights of the business I do in Latin America. But beyond that, and just getting into a little bit more factual stuff, a little bit less touchy-feely, just the sheer growth of the region, right? If you look at Mexico, Mexico grew almost 300% year to year last year. And it's projected to grow this year by at least 200% in spite of fairly severe headwinds, right? So just to be a part of that positive story of the adoption of renewable energy in the region is, to me, it's just the highlights of what I do. Well, I think it's important to differentiate between risks and challenges, right? A risk to me is something that is working today that may not be working tomorrow. And a challenge is something that may not be working at all today and it'd be nice to get working, right? So on the risk side, I see things like currency risk and regulatory risk as things that are going to be in this market a lot more than in developed markets. The government could think about changing an existing regulation, or the dollar could continue to rise. I mean, those are things that are beyond our control and could derail the market or at least stall it a little bit. Now, as far as challenges in the market, I think the market is very hungry for affordable capital to finance solar ventures, for both operating capital and just solar finance capital, right? We're beginning to see the influx of foreign money into these markets. We're beginning to see American companies and European companies for sure. But anytime you have foreign currency pouring into Latin American ventures, you have currency risk. So the ideal situation would be one where local investors and local finance companies, local banks figure out that it is a good idea and a good business for them to finance solar ventures and to finance solar businesses and to finance solar investments, right? So I guess the way I look at it, and I tend to always be optimistic, right, is if they figure out how to finance a car and a house in most of Latin America, they'll eventually figure out how to finance a solar system. It's way less risky than a car for sure. Let me just reframe that. Let me sort of answer a different question or answer it, because I don't want to focus too narrowly in Latin America, right? I think of course, we're in a Latin American a show, and we should talk about Latin America, but I think that any company a solar company that is not focusing on emerging markets, right, is likely going to be missing out on a lot. And all the research shows, research by you guys and by any other marketing firm shows that in the next 10 years, the majority of solar will be deployed in what's today emerging markets, right? So all of us need to be investing a lot of time and money and efforts into emerging markets. We, Enphase, are very focused on emerging markets and in Latin America in particular, and it's a key focus of investment for the next couple of years here. And we have big challenges and goals for the region for the next couple of years, for sure.